video, I'm going to be breaking down the entire funnel which Daniel Bitton uses to generate over $200,000 per month and also millions long term. So let's just dive straight into it. Now, in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly how he's actually getting traffic for his coaching business, then how he's generating interested leads, how he's eventually converting all of these interested leads, and how he's eventually going to put all of that into an enterprise injection to make millions of dollars long term. Now, real quick before we get into this video, if you're either an experienced coach with an existing following, or you're just getting into the space, you have a business that's making over $10,000 per month and you want to start teaching it, then just book a call with me first, link in the description, and I'll help you implement everything that I'm talking about in this video. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Now, obviously, the first thing that we need to cover is how he's actually getting traffic, because without traffic, the whole thing wouldn't exist. If nobody knows what you're selling, how are they supposed to buy something that they don't even know exists, right? Everything comes down to this. That's why traffic is the most important thing in a coaching business, because obviously the funnel is important. I mean, how much percent of this audience are you going to convert? That's important. But if you have no audience to begin with, you can't, converting 100% of zero is still going to be zero, right? So that's why getting traffic is extremely important in every single coaching business. And he's sort of going the mainstream route with this, right? So just from the top of the funnel, you can see he has podcasts, right? That's the main thing. And you can think of podcasts how you want, but you can really also think of them as he's going onto these podcasters' podcast, and he's essentially stealing their audiences, right? Because initially, I mean, this was a while back, right? And he went onto here and he got 350,000 views. And when we're going to look over his social media channels, he's not really that big, right? And he wouldn't have gotten these 350,000 views unless he went on this guy's podcast who was already big, right? And these podcasts are also 1 hour and 40 minutes long, which they do a really good job at nurturing. And the more content someone consumes of you, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you, which we all know is a secret formula to actually converting people, right? So essentially, because he's posting this long content here, he's already indirectly getting a bunch of leads for his coaching business, right? He's doing it here as well. This one's 50 minutes, but there really is a ton of them, right? And not only is he getting a ton of leads from these podcasts at the top of the funnel, but all of these leads, or not all of these leads, all of this content is being diversified onto different platforms, right? First of all, TikTok is a really big play. I just took one of his accounts. This is his main account on TikTok. Clipping page, 50,000 followers, which is pretty insane. It's huge. And there's a bunch of different pages. This isn't the only one. There's over 10, right? And this just gets as many eyeballs onto his offer as possible, because when they see him on TikTok maybe once or twice, and then they see him on YouTube, the likelihood of them clicking onto the YouTube video is a lot higher. That's the same reason why Iman has this entire huge clipping army, right? Iman Gaji wouldn't be doing it unless he knew that it would be putting his CTR on his YouTube videos up, and Daniel knows this as well, and that's why he's doing it, right? And the same thing you can see on Instagram. Obviously, this is just his personal Instagram account, so he's not really posting any clips over here, but it's just general lifestyle content. Every sort of, you can call him a guru, you don't have to call him a guru, but every single person that's sort of in this space has, one of these accounts, and that's why this is extremely important. And he also has clipping pages on Instagram as well that are sort of similar to this. Other than that, he also has a Twitter account. It's not too massive, but he's still showcasing results. That's the most important thing. On his Twitter, he's just sort of sharing his own thoughts, but he's mainly showcasing results from people inside of his coaching program. And he's not that consistent with it, but it's still extremely important, because when they search him up on different platforms, let's say they see him on Instagram and they want to follow him on Twitter, it's sort of creating that ecosystem of they're seeing, okay, Daniel, and then they might see, okay, well, he's posting so many results, they're going to tie him in with someone inside of their minds of someone who actually gets results for their clients, and long term, maybe not in the first day, but maybe after the first 2-3 months, they're going to turn into a customer of Daniel's, right? And the same can be said for YouTube, right? Of course, every single sort of big person is on YouTube now. Alex Hormozi, Iman Gachi, all these huge people, they're on YouTube. Even billionaires you're seeing on YouTube now, because they understand the importance of having a huge platform. Now, I just pulled up here, I just looked at his most popular videos. Let me just actually drag this out of the way so I can see how much his most popular video got. It's 520,000 views, which is absolutely insane, right? 520,000, 420,000. I mean, this one's fairly short, but you know, some of them do get longer. This one's 424,000 and it's 15 minutes long. This one's 398,000 views. It's 10 minutes long. It's not the longest, but they definitely do a lot better of a job than, you know, short form content at nurturing, right? And what he's doing here is it's essentially just value content, right? Value content, challenges, and random blogs. That's essentially what it is. And you know, this is super simple. He's not really that consistent with the posting. I'm pretty sure he's posting like once every 2 weeks, and just really simple stuff. Obviously, nurture content. And all of these videos have the exact same description, where you can see over here, buy my YouTube course, which is essentially going into an Ascension funnel, which I'm going to touch on a little bit later, and get 25% off Creo using Daniel25 at checkout. And Creo is a software company, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about later on the enterprise injection part. And other than that, we also have follow me on Instagram, because obviously, you know, he's sort of just building that personal brand. And these are only business links. As you can tell, he's not really just talking about his story or whatever. He's really just straight to the point, free links, and that's it, right? Other than that, he's also running ads. So all of these platforms, they're sort of building an ecosystem, right? You might see him on a podcast, then you see him on Twitter, you see him on YouTube, and then you see him on Instagram, right? And a really good thing that these platforms allow you to do is to run retargeting ads. And retargeting ads are essentially when you get to retarget the people who are going onto your profile. And he's running an Ascension funnel for his retargeting ads. And essentially, if you don't know what a Ascension funnel is, I'll just give you the simplest form of it possible. Let's say someone sees you. So let's say this is an example of a person who might go into your Ascension funnel, and they might see your ad the first time and they won't buy, right? So this is going to be $0, and then they're going to see your ad again, and then here they might actually buy a $10 product from your ad, right? So let's just put 10. And as soon as someone buys from you once, the likelihood of them buying from you again is a lot higher, right? So then from here they can buy, let's say I don't want to draw this out, but let's say they buy a $500 product here and a $500, and then after the $500 product they might buy a $2,500 product, right? So let me just put $2,500 in, and essentially only because we know that the people who we are essentially, when we get someone to pay $10, the likelihood of them buying from us again for the 500 is a lot higher. But this $10 product is essentially helping us cover our ad cost, right? So it might cost us $9 to acquire a client, and they're paying us $10. So as you know, those aren't that profitable ads. But what we're also doing is we're acquiring an extremely warm lead who's bought from us before and has a high likelihood of them actually buying a 500 or in a $2,500 product, and so on and so forth, right? Which is extremely important. And that's how these sort of Ascension funnels work, and that's the only funnel that he's running. Even here on his YouTube, just because he knows his audience is a little bit younger, he's still running an Ascension funnel, right? By my YouTube course, we're going to look into this a little bit later, but it's like $20, right? And it's just ascending them through, ascending them up $20, $500, $2,500, and so on and so forth, right? So this is exactly how he's getting traffic. As you can tell, he's not overcomplicating the process at all, and he's keeping it really simple. After this, he actually has to generate interested leads, right? So what he's doing here, I mean, he's doing a great job at actually getting a bunch of views, right? 500,000, 400,000 podcasts he's getting on, 350,000, 10,000. I mean, there's a bunch more too, right? And now all of this traffic that he's getting, he actually needs to turn into interested customers, interested leads. Because if nobody's interested in what he's selling, then all of this audience essentially just means nothing, right? So he has multiple sources, and the first thing that he's doing is just his Ascension funnel. And usually when you see people on YouTube, they don't do an Ascension funnel from YouTube, but just because Daniel knows that his audience is a little bit younger, just because he's also younger, he needs to run an Ascension funnel. And it's a $20 front-end offer, and leads are all coming from YouTube, right? YouTube or ads, right? So YouTube or ads, and all of his other platforms, they're essentially, they're just nurture platforms, right? So let's say you see him on Instagram, he's not going to sell anything on Instagram, he's just going to redirect you to his YouTube where he can eventually convert you, right? Really clean looking landing page, and just visually pleasing, and you can't really go wrong with this here. And Daniel doesn't use the usual free guide funnel because he doesn't like to give stuff away for free, and he only sells with the value ladder, right? And the value ladder is essentially what I talked about before. This is just the Ascension funnel, right? Value and price. So he baits you front end, middle, which could be a $20 plus an upsell, $500, and then eventually to the $5,000 package, right? So this is extremely important, and this is what pretty much separates him from all the other funnels. And then after this, after you actually buy the product, which I actually bought just for this video, just to showcase, it's going to go to a second one, right? And here from Instagram as well, the leads that do come from Instagram, he has a different one, right? It's the same thing, exact same thing, but the VSL is in a different angle, right? Headline plus an entertaining VSL, and he's testing a bunch of different VSLs, but they all have the same structure, right? So you can see these two pages, they're both saying the exact same thing, but he's just A/B testing them to see which one gets the best results, which VSL gets the best results, right? And then under this page, there's going to be a bunch of copy, because you don't just want to have this blank page and nothing under it, because you're not fully converting everybody, right? But when you have stuff under it, I just took a screenshot of the headlines, but the $15.5 billion gap hidden in plain sight. It's called Faceless YouTube Shorts. How much money does a YouTube content creator make? Why shorts are taking over and how you can take advantage. Look, I know you're not looking for hype. Hey, my name is Daniel Bitton, right? So here he's pretty much just doing a little bit of a presentation of himself, and you can test that claim without taking any big risks, where he's pretty much just giving his guarantee, where he's getting as many people to buy in as possible, because even if they do end up refunding, they're still in the Ascension funnel, right? And there's a very high perceived likelihood for just $20, right? So here's everything you get for $20 today, and then he talks about what they get, and here's how it's going to work when you join, and he's just giving them the exact roadmap of what happens right after they join, right? And at the very bottom, there's a checkout where he's pretty much building a little bit of scarcity, just being like, it used to be $100, now it's just $20, and he also has an upsell included just to maximize for when he's actually running ads to this product, right? So copy and paste editing package, that's $29 you can add on, and 1 call a month with YouTube portal team and 5 call recordings for $40 every single month. So he's building a little bit of a monthly thing here, which is pretty cool. And then last information to actually make a decision, like PS, this offer does not expire. I'm offering an ironclad 365-day guarantee. The early bird price may change without notice, right? So I think this is all pretty cool. And then other than that, he's also running a newsletter, right? And you're also going to tell with him generating interested leads, he's not doing anything crazy here. He's not trying to make a bunch of money with the $20 product. This isn't his focus. What he's doing is he's doing a really good job at actually generating these interested leads. So again, here, only free resources, right? He only puts these specific free resources into his newsletter. And then the headline for the newsletter is just join my private newsletter and learn how to turn faceless short form content into a 6-figure business, right? Which is pretty cool. You just put in, and he's going to send you weekly emails, right? Then he's just putting a little bit of just a testimonial here, and the page is just extremely short because you don't really need to convince anybody to join your newsletter, right? Other than this, after this page, so after they join the newsletter and they join the newsletter here, it's going to redirect them to a VSL page, learn how to make a full-time income by copy and pasting 30-second VSLs on YouTube, and it's straight to VSL to the highest product, right? Then fill out the application, right? So the highest product here would essentially be the high ticket offer, because here I know he's A/B testing this. He's just testing different products here out, but what he's able to do here as well is here they're just going to be a lot more nurtured. The people coming to the email are 99% of the time going to be coming for YouTube, so he can try and actually sell his $5,000 product straight from there. And then he just has a fill out application where he's just asking them for contact plus personal info, age, whether they work, where he's pretty much just figuring out how much money they have, if they're ready to build a business and make 5K plus, why they should take you, which is pretty much just a fake selection, building a load of scarcity and getting them to invest their own personal energy into the application. So if they get accepted, they feel more like they were selected, and not just because it's the budget, because obviously that's a weird place for the prospects to be. What's their experience, the budget, and they make you feel special and confirm your response, right? After this, if you're qualified and you have the $5,000 budget, book a call to speak with one of my success coaches and see how we can help you make $5,000 per month over the next 90 days or less, guaranteed, right? And then they just have the simple kindly, and they're really just not overcomplicating this over here, right? And all of this is just, obviously this would be a backhand sell over here, but they're essentially just getting people into the newsletter where they can further nurture them, weekly emails. You can, we're going to have a little bit of an email here. Let me actually just draw this, an email. And then essentially after they've seen enough emails, like 1, 2, and then, on and so forth, they might buy on the second email, they might buy on the 5th email, right? It really depends, but it's just building the ecosystem around his brand, right? And that's how he's able to generate a bunch of interested leads. And after this, he actually needs to convert these leads, right? He actually needs to make money from these leads. So the last page is when they qualify. When they go past all of these pages, they're going to be met with this page right here. And this is his high ticket page, right? This is his $5,000 product page. And I'm just going to go through the entire copy here because this is the most important part of the entire funnel. And I also want to see if my camera is straight. All right, it should be good. Cool. So the YouTube gateway. Disclaimer, this offer is extremely limited and will be removed soon. And then here he just has a 3K and a 5K, just super simple. And he's just making people want to click on this post right here. Other than that, he has a pretty entertaining VSL because his audience is a little bit younger. And then here they just have a big red button, add gateway to your order. And then this is $500 right here, right? So this isn't his highest tier package, but this is just part of the essential, right? So the Ascension. So this is $500, right? So it's the upsell to the $500 offer after they actually buy the $20 offer. Then he's talking about why YouTube Shorts is the best business model, and it's essentially just the same as the previous page. So essentially everything that we covered over here is the exact same thing over here, right? At the end, there's an upsell with benefits, right? So he's pretty much being like, used to be $1,750 and now it's just $500. And then he's talking about what's included. So pretty much just value stacking onto everything and then just telling them how they can actually pay, right? Again, here, a little bit of a presentation on Daniel, giving them a little bit of a sneak peek of what's actually going to be inside of the $500 course. And then they're going to handle any objections with an FAQ, right? So what will I learn? How does it work? How do I get help? And can I do this in school or while working? What if I'm not satisfied, right? So super, super simple. And from here, straight up sell to the course plus community. Over here, $500, keeping it fairly simple. And here, there's going to be an upsell, right? So it's going to be another upsell, right? The YouTube gateway. And then here, they essentially get the $500. And then they're pretty much going to say, congratulations, your order is complete. Then they're going to get to open the emails. So on the email, it's going to be watch the video over here. Then they're going to be over here, get access to the special bonus. That's step 2. And step 3 is book your strategy call. And this strategy call over here is essentially a sales call. But I'm going to get into that in just a second. But over here, email 1, they're just going to give them the exact roadmap, right? What are the next steps that they actually need to do? And it just tells them everything inside of the course, right? What are the next steps that they need to take? Then email 2 is, are you ready? And then this is just a little bit of upsells, right? So redeem your strategy call, that's an upsell, and upgrade to the YouTube gateway here. Again, an upsell, and over here, they're just getting access to the 15 modules with more than 35 lessons and free trial for Creo for his software company, right? And over here, they have YouTube passage planning call, right? And this planning call is essentially a sales call for their $5,000 program, right? So when we're looking at this funnel, we just had them ascend through the entire thing, right? So let's just break it down, right? So this is obviously going to his high ticket offer, but I just want to break down how we got to this point. First, we had the free content, right? So this was a $0 stuff. And then eventually we were able to convert them to the $20 product, right? And after being in the $20 product for a while, and they sort of got their questions answered, but now they want to learn a little bit more, right? So now we got the free leads for the $20, right? This covered our ad cost, and now we're upselling them to the $500 product, right? So we can just put here $500, and then now we're upselling them again to the $5,000 product. So let me just put the price tag right here, $5,000. So it's pretty simple. But, as you can see, they're just doing a really good process of ascending just because they know that this audience is a little bit younger and they need to do a little bit more of an ascension. But now they're getting, right, they're on this page and they're getting upsold to the high ticket offer, which is where I would probably say around 60% of the money is being made. So this is where the real money is being laid. And the leads are already extremely warm, right? They bought the YouTube portal for $20 and they bought the YouTube gateway for $497. And this is for those who want to scale their faceless YouTube channel with hiring and software, right? So the unique selling point is a private Discord and essentially, obviously, just one-on-one access to Daniel and his team. And this is the Navy SEALs process that they're using to convert all of the leads here so that they're not wasting a single lead. So first off, the dialer is qualifying the leads right after they book in through the Calendly over here. After that, the setter is actually messaging the leads and putting them into a group chat with the closer. After that, they're actually confirming the call, and obviously on the call, they're getting closed for $5,000. But up until the call, they're also doing a little bit of the pre-call process, right? So immediately, they're getting access to pre-call assets, and the pre-call asset is just answering a little bit of Q&As and call confirmation via SMS and email, and an immediate DM from the setter. After that, 1 to 2 hours after the call, they're going to get a WhatsApp message. This is just an example of a WhatsApp message right here. 24 hours before the call, they're getting an unreleased breakdown video plus a call reminder. 12 hours before the call, they're getting a text message, right, just from people at the YouTube portal team. 6 hours before the call, they're getting a podcast video plus a call reminder. And 1 hour before the call, they're getting a video plus a call reminder. 5 minutes before the call, they're getting a call reminder. And when the call starts, they're also going to get just the link to the call where they can actually join in and get closed by the closer, right? And the key is to track everything, right? They really need to track everything because they're running ads and they need to figure out, we need to do this, and this to hit this, and this amount of numbers this month, right? So they're tracking everything from closing rate, show up rate, AOV on the funnel purchase, funnel conversion percent, cost per lead, cost per qualified application, cost per disqualified application, cost per appointment, current downsell revenue, current ad spend, and global return on ad spend, right? And once this is all dialed in, everything that we're talking about over here is generating him over $200,000 per month. But this is how he's actually going to make millions, with an enterprise injection, because the typical lifespan for an offer like this is 8 to 10 months, and you always have to come up with new ideas and offers, right? It's a perpetual loop of chasing cash flow. When you want to exit, you're lucky if you can even sell your education company for 1 times its annual revenue, and it won't set you up for life. That's why Daniel is building a SaaS and actual companies on the back end. All the customers are cross-sold to Creo AI, which boosts the company's revenue and valuation. This way, he uses the educational to generate cash flow and the enterprise to have a potential to exit and generate generational wealth, right? So there you have it. That's the entire funnel which Daniel Bitton is using to generate over $200,000 per month and millions of dollars long term. So if you're interested in implementing the systems and strategies which I talked about in this video, alongside with other systems and strategies which I've implemented for different coaches, creators, and influencers to generate over $250,000 on the internet, then you can book a call with me, first link in the description.